Okay, I just filmed this Monica Bellucci inspired makeup look. However, I am very aware that I have a lot of people in my audience who have hooded eyes. And despite how like simple or neutral a look might be, I know that it is very helpful or useful. Helpful and useful, same thing. To see how you might adapt a certain makeup look for hooded eyes. So that's exactly what I'm gonna show you today. First, I need to take this off. Do I have a wipe? Okay, you're gonna have to suspend your disbelief a little bit because I obviously don't have hooded eyes. But we're gonna talk through it. We're gonna talk through it. So if you have hooded eyes, most likely your lid is completely covered, is just completely covered. Like this part of your eye is probably comes down like quite a bit. You might have folds here that you have to deal with. You might have skin that just straight up goes like this. Your brows might be like right on top of your lash line. If any of those sound like you, one of the things that I want you to consider is when I close my eyes, can you see my lid? Just take a quick photo of yourself, like close your eyes, take a quick photo. Is there any part of my lid that ends up showing? If so, then what I want you to do is just wherever the skin folds over, lift up that skin and fill that area with whatever color you want, like whatever your eyeliner is going to be. For this, it ended up being this like nice light taupey kind of color. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw down a little bit of Urban Decay priming potion. Just the teeniest amount. Actually didn't use any primer on my other, on my other eye. And I'm going to, quick announcement, my Sigma set, my little Sigma eye brush set is back. What's included in that? We're gonna be using all of the brushes, so I'll tell you at the end, but we're gonna be using all the brushes. So yeah, I'll tell you at the end. I'm gonna start off with my Sigma E54 brush. I was using the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the Neutrals palette. So I'm gonna pick up this shade, right? This shade right here, this nice taupey kind of color on my E54. And I'm going to, remember, we're pretending that this whole area is just like on top of this lid. So I'm going to pull up that skin and I'm just going to cover my entire lid with this shade. Now this is to prevent any weird like disconnect when I look down. It's going to help define the eye. If this area is on top of your lid, then you don't even need to worry about this area, okay? You probably don't have the room there anyway. So just lift up and fill this whole area with whatever color is your choice. Now it could be a light taupey color like this. It could be black, it could be brown, it could be blue, like whatever color you want, okay? The lower lash line is going to remain the same, so I highly recommend you check out that video. It's very simple though. I mean, like it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you wanna know exactly how I did it, then head over to that video. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my little Sigma E06 brush, which also comes in my set, this tiny little eyeliner brush. This is perfection for one of you. For those of you who have hooded eyes, you want tiny brushes. You want to focus on tiny detail brushes, okay? So one of the things that I did in that video was I extended my inner corner just ever so slightly, just sharpened it a little bit. Because like I said, can you focus on my face? I was doing a Monica Bellucci makeup look. And her eyes are just a little bit more almond than mine, so I was just kind of sharpening that corner. One of the nice things about hooded eyes is that your inner corner, hopefully, you have something to play with. So that is a great way to play with color, to play with texture. You could play with like foiled shadows in your inner corner, also your lower lash line. I have lots of videos on hooded eyes. I'll pop them up throughout the video up here in case you want to check out a couple others. So I'm gonna go into this dark brown color, which is what I used to line this eye, and I'm going to press this. There's still like some remnants from the last video, but I'm gonna press this all along my lash line. Okay, so once again, you can lift up the lid or the skin that folds over. I'm just gonna press this. Like tight lining is gonna be your friend. You wanna be defining that lash line. Keep it tight to the eye. And then depending on how much of your lid is covered and how smoky you want it to get, you could take a brush like this, which is my E45, also from my set. I'm gonna pick up that same dark brown. I'm gonna focus that dark brown on the very tip of the brush. Okay, doesn't know what to focus on. Very tip of the brush. And I'm going to buff this all along that lash line, focusing on the outer corner, but just softening and blending up and into that taupey shade. Okay, so just kind of like creating a little bit of a gradient, but making sure that the focus is against the lash line. Okay, so again, remember, this is coming down, right? We're trying to create the same effect of the definition that we have going over here, but we just have so much more room to work with. But when my eyes are open here and I'm looking straight across, what you're really seeing is this definition and then the definition around my eyelashes, which is exactly what we want. So we don't have the crease to really like work with here, but we do have this line, right? So depending on like how much of your skin is folding over, for this next part, I want you to ignore the lines that are going down, all right? So if you have lines that are going down like this, you know, that like it folds over like this, and then you have lines that kind of like scoop this way, I want you to ignore those lines. What I want you to do is dip again into that dark brown, okay? And you're just going to go right here. You're just gonna apply a little bit of shadow right here from the outer part. Now when I let go, obviously it's gonna be like way up high because my eyes don't do that. But if your eyes do that, then you're just gonna go straight, ignoring these lines and blending into onto the lid. Just meeting that up with everything you put on the lid. I'm gonna use that same brush. I'm gonna pick up the taupe to soften around that color. Very difficult to blend with my finger here. Okay, do you see? Despite the fact that I have these lines coming down, right, which is like so incredibly difficult to show you, despite the fact that I have lines coming down, I'm ignoring that and I'm just like working on the outer, very outer corner of my eye, okay? Now it's gonna depend on how much room you have between here and the tail of your brow to determine like where, sorry, I'm just like ruining my makeup right now. It's gonna depend how much room you have between the tail of your brow and your outer corner to determine like how high up you can bring it. But I want you to focus on this outer corner. Now, if you bring it completely straight out, you can do that. If you take it down a little bit, you can do that, but just ignore these little lines, okay? Now, when I'm like far back, okay, despite these lines, when I look straight ahead, I'm still giving my eyes a little bit of a lift. So you can see how I'm kind of matching up this lower lash line to this outer corner. Just pulling on my makeup and ruining my, I'm just ruining everything. All right, I'm just going in with my mascara. Another thing that you can do is rather than like coating all of your lashes, just really focus, like you can kind of like blend into the rest of your lashes, but really focus the mascara on the very outer corner and pull them to the side, because that's the way that everything is going anyway. You probably don't want your lashes to be super curled up, you know, because like maybe they get hidden, or maybe maybe it just doesn't look right. So if you just pull them to the side, it just kind of helps to like complement this shape that we have going on. All right, guys, obviously I really like removed a lot of makeup over here, and you can see that the shape is incredibly different. But again, if I just pop it down here, you can see that we sort of like emulate this effect of the eye, but specifically for a hooded eye. So what you want to do is, if you don't have all of this lid space, then what you want to do is focus on just covering that lid, because most likely if you have hooded eyes, your lid is going to be like so covered up that it's not even like, the fact that you're covering your lid isn't going to make a huge difference. It's just going to end up looking like a really beautiful like smoky liner, and when you close your eyes, it's going to look cohesive. It's not going to look like super disconnected. Okay, so just fill in that whole area and then focus on your outer corner. Obviously, you can play up your lower lash line, and if you're looking to have some fun, I highly recommend playing around with your inner corner. It's like one of my favorite things to do. It's so simple and effective, and it allows you to kind of play with color and texture. Like I mentioned, my favorite set with Sigma is back in stock if you were interested, if you need eye brushes, specifically synthetic eye brushes. I just wanted to show you what is in it. Obviously, we used three of the brushes. The tiny little eyeliner brush is the EO6, which is so incredible. It's amazing for like inner corner, but any kind of detail. And if you have hooded eyes specifically, you want tiny little detail brushes. The E45, which is this beautiful like tapered brush. If you don't have hooded eyes and you happen to be watching this video, it's really great for just kind of like sticking in your crease and going back and forth to blend. But the taper of it gives it like a really nice versatility. So you can kind of like create these nice angled looks using it. Like, I don't know, you saw me apply it. It's like super easy to just kind of like sketch it out. It makes blending really simple. And the Sigma E54, which is my all-time favorite lid brush for anything, whether it's powders, creams. I was gonna say mattes versus shimmers or foils. Picks up foiled shadow like you wouldn't believe. It's basically like a little finger. I love it. I think I've said this before, but my oldest Sigma E54 brush is like 9 years old at this point. It's crazy. Also, we didn't use this brush, but this is the E80, which is the little spoolie. This is what I always use to set my eyebrows with my soap. It's obviously a spoolie, so you can use it to like brush out your lashes. I pretty much only use it for my brows, to be honest, because it's just like, it's the perfect size and length. It's nice and precise, and the bristles of the spoolie are not too fluffy. It's like close enough to the little like wiry center, you know, so that it like grips the soap and really distributes it nicely. I just love it. It's literally the only spoolie that I use. But also included in the set is the little switch. This is the clean side, but this is what I use to switch between shades. Rather than using a paper towel and wasting a bunch of like paper towels, you can just take your brush, rub it in one of the little areas that are designated for, you know, whichever. It says eyeshadow, cream, face powder. I use it. I go everywhere. And it just pulls off the pigment so that you can go between shades without having to like wash your brush or, like I said, waste paper towels. And this is really great. This is the travel size. So I love. These are my faves from Sigma. If you are interested, it'll obviously be linked down below. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to pick it up when it first came out, it'll be back in stock. I really hope that this helps. I know that there are so many people out there with hooded eyes who just want to be able to do like the most beautiful, like intricate cut creases. And it comes down to your eye shape and doing what is most flattering for it. You know, if you have hooded eyes, don't get discouraged. Like I said, you can also, one thing that I love to do is play around with color or like sparkles or whatever in your waterline. That's another really great option. I highly recommend watching all of my other videos on hooded eyes if you don't have hooded eyes and you want to watch this tutorial, or if you do have hooded eyes and you want to see my lower lash line, highly recommend this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please subscribe and like and comment and become a member, channel member, and watch our live streams, membership live streams. Oh, I've been talking for so long. I'm gonna go, but I love you, and hopefully I'll see you soon. How do I always lose my clicker right at the end of the video? I need to get it ready before I start saying goodbye to you. Because I don't even know where it is. And now it's weird because I want to click to end, but I can't find it. I'll just go.